Balaji, may I know how many people have joined in just to get a quick understanding, or how do you think I could basically ask people to interact?
We have 9 attendees, and we can facilitate opening up audio for people to join in, audio and video, if you would like to. I can maybe request each of them to unmute themselves and say hi right now if you're fine with.
Yeah, I'm good with it. If that's okay with them, just to make it at least something going, and then probably we could quickly do our agenda. I think agenda is something which how is it going? How is it going to go, Balaji? If you could just tell me and the audience how the flow is and what's the duration. Probably even they'll be clear as to what to expect.
Starting from now, it will be for 45 minutes to begin with, and this will be predominantly interactive. We don't want to go through a set structure. However, you have a presentation, I guess, to also showcase to people, but I don't think that will take more than 15-20 minutes of your time. I'd rather want to force you, make it extempore and interactive so that it's two-way. We see that the attendees have taken time off from the weekend to interact with us, and let's make it quite interesting to begin with, if you find.
Sure. Super cool. Thank you all. Happy to see everybody who's already switched on, and glad to see you all. Thanks for that. So let me quickly go to today's topic, or what we probably are here to explore, right? What do we like to explore is real estate. As soon as we hear real estate, I'm sure, right, all of us from different walks of life who has come here would have different perspectives. So if I may ask, with whatever early signups and information we've got, we understand that there are people who are studying in MBA who has joined, and people who are doing digital marketing has joined, and people who are currently a real estate broking person, right, who assist in selling real estate or buying, say, real estate has joined. So these are the profiles I understand have come in. So I would like to basically, focus the entire conversation around this, and probably try to give you a perspective of real estate itself, wherein how this industry is for all of us, right? From different walks of life, we are consuming real estate one way or the other. That all of us are agreeing, I'm sure, right? So quickly to give you the agenda of how this is going to glow is the quick. I'm not going to bore you with facts and all those things. This conversation is not about that, right? It's more of very simple facts and points what you could ponder about in your walk of life, right? Which might give you much more opportunities, because those are that's the objective I've tried to do, right? In this next half an hour, 45 minutes, if I could achieve that, I think I've done a good session. That's the objective with which I'm going, right? So for that, if you see, I would like to give you a perspective as to how the world perceives real estate vis-a-vis what is real estate, right? And opportunities based on that, I would like to talk about the opportunities, what is there for all the walks of life, right? It's as soon as we think of real estate, we only think of transactions or buying or selling, right? But it is not the case, right? Who can come into the real estate, right? That is a big question, right? These are the prominent questions. And what is technology had to do, or the technology in real estate, how is it actually lined up? And then finally, probably to give a little bit background about my own company, of my own journey. Why am I landing here and why am I doing these things, right? Why am I educating people around the world about this? And what is the objective of reality, my company, in that perspective? So all these things are going to get unfolded one after the other. So let's go ahead. So as soon as I speak about real estate, right, what people think is buying and selling, as I already said. Immediately people tend to perceive as to we tend to think of a developer who's probably a very wealthy person who is owning few homes to sell it, right? On the other side, we on the other extreme, I would say, we think of individuals who could basically give us or point us towards certain inventory which we are looking for, a rent or uh, a sale or a resale, whatever it is which all of us are wanting. This is what the entire picture of real estate, with if almost 99% of us would probably think in this perspective, right, as real estate. But I would want to give you a simple analogy here, right? I want to say with a bold statement that real estate is a fastest moving consumer good in the planet, and it is the costliest consumer good in the planet. If I say that, how am I saying that? With these three simple facts. Do you know how many home loans are dispersed in India per year? Every year is 10 lakh crores of home loans. By this statement, our I want you guys to think that it's not about just developers in this loans, right? It is just not about consumers in this loan, right? It is not about just brokers here, right? There is somebody called a banking system which comes in. So the bank means a person who is actually accumulating deposits from various consumers and basically lending that as a credit to against a home, and that's what his home loan is. So when you think of 10 lakh crores as home loan dispersed, I want you guys to think a banking industry which comes into picture, right? For this, there is 3.2 lakh homes sold every year. This 10 lakh crores are just getting dispersed by home loans. Beyond and above home loans, there are people who buy out of their own investments, right? All put together, the primary real estate. When I say primary real estate, just to give you a fact check, is a builder trying to sell it for the first time. The property is coming for the first time in the market. That's what we call it as primary. Secondary real estate is something which we pick up, which is already sold to one buyer and that gets resold. That is called a secondary real estate. Okay. So 3.2 lakh homes are getting sold every year in India, right? And this just 3.2 lakh crores is the value on the right side. I do not know how many zeros. Let's think it as trillions or beyond that, right? So 3.2 lakhs of homes, which is an average of 50 lakhs, will give you that quantum of value, right? This is the transaction which is happening. For this transaction to happen, do you think there is only a seller and a buyer which can make this transaction happen? Right? For this seller, for him to build, what all happens? There is a lot of engineering happens, lot of designing happens, lot of approval government regulation happens, right? Just similar to that, when the buyer who is trying to buy 3.2 lakh people, homes, families are buying houses every year, which means that family is basically trying to get an income, apply for a home loan, or accumulate their investments and then process on buying this home from him. How? Via probably traveling in a car, taking site visits, getting to know and discuss with every friends and families, and probably talking to few of the brokers and few of the builders around him, right? And there are NRIs who wants property management. There are NRIs. There are people out there who wants to assist in terms of rental. Lot of B2C activity happens, right? Then aggregators like 99 acres comes into picture, who is not a broker, right? A no broker comes into picture where he is more in terms of an exclusive inventory play, right? So all of these are words which I'm throwing in. These are all, each is by itself is turning into be an industry, right? So what I want to give you or take away from these things is there is a development or a manufacturing of homes which has to happen. That has to get consumed. For development, there is umpteen number of industries which get involved, right? Just think about the materials which goes into a home, right? From bricks, cements, steels, right? And the labor, quantum of labor which comes in, the civil engineers who monitors it, there is an architect who designs this, there is a structural engineer who does it, right? Okay, is this all? What about technology in construction, right? I'll leave it to you. Probably I'll answer and touch about those things as we go along, right? And from development to probably taking it to market, right? Taking it to consumer world is the other section where there is approvals, there is government regulations, there is timelines, there is project level loans which the developer gets to construct, a lot of other industries which comes in. And then from the consumer world, again the bank comes in, right? There is a broker comes in, there is influencers or other discovery platforms which helps the buyers. There are other aspects. So just imagine this perspective, right? If you see the entire perspective, can tech play a role from raw material to end consumer consuming it as a home? Yes. After buying a home, the buyer goes on to do interiors, which is itself is a big industry, right? From that interiors, you take it to the next level of things where we today speak about co-living spaces. We wanted to rent it in different flavors, right? Today, as PGs, as co-livings, as hotels, as whatever commercial entities, right? So there are other aspects to it. So this if I actually speak about this, right, for a 12-month period in India, right, just in the top cities which this is getting consumed, and that too only primary, right? So that is the background with which I want to start, right? Here there is hell a lot of engineering. Are we even considering um, I want to leave a couple of questions in this slide, which is we drive a car, all of us, right? But are we even appreciating an engineering skill on an iPhone or a car equal to an engineering skill which is getting involved in building a 4-story building where all of us are living every day without fear? I just want to leave that question to you guys. Think about it, right? A engineer or a car designer who sits in probably an Audi company or a Maruti or a Tata, whoever is basically designing a car, right? And then there is a engineering which happens to what all materials could come in, right? And ultimately presented at 10 lakh rupees or a 15 lakh rupees or a 20-25 lakh rupees. For that sort of aspect, just imagine the same, what amount of work and what amount of value is happening at real estate. If car is X, real estate is at least 4X of each car value, right? So how many engineers are required for a brand? How many brands are there in real estate? That is another question which I want to give you. In car, for India, maximum 10 brands we could think of. For real estate, how many brands can we think of? 10 in each city, right? 10 in each state. So that's the amount of brands and companies which exist today, which are only acting in primary. And those many companies would require engineers, those many companies would require tech, those many consumers are going to consume this, right? So that's the amount of real estate we are talking about, right? So that is real estate. Okay. Now, all of us are from different walks of life, right? So I'm not into real estate industry. That might be the common pondering question right now. Okay, these are great, Arun. These are things which is brilliant, right? These facts are great, absolutely fine. But my aspiration is to become the top engineer out there, right? I mean, tech engineer, a software engineer out there. wanted to build the next decade, be part of next decade tech. That could be one of the aspirations. There could be a marketing guy, a digital marketing guy who could say that, I want to be part of this e-commerce flare. I want to be part of this automation AI flare which is happening in tech. And probably I want to put up logos in my website as clientele who are paying in dollars, right? This could be the marketing guy's perspective. Some sales guy who's probably from FMCG might think that my product is there in every shelves out there in retailing. Retailing is different, Arun. Retailing has what to do with real estate, right? Just I want to say that all of these things are good. I would like to understand these are your starting points, right? You could be a digital marketing person today. You could be a sales guy who are doing FMCG sales, or a sales guy who is very good at tech, who is doing brilliant, coaching or a twittering sort of work, right? Or you could be, as I said, a brilliant software engineer who would like to code for the next Amazon or the next Chat GPT of the world, right? Yes, that's the starting point I want you guys to think of, right? You guys have identified where you are today, right? Who you are today. But for tomorrow to happen, I would like you to use this as just as your spectacle, but not the world, right? If you think what you are today or what you are thinking today is the world or is the ultimate, I would want you to rethink. I want you to rethink that, hey, I am a tech guy or I want a software engineer. I would wear this as a specs and would like to explore the world out there, explore the world of finance, explore the world of sales, explore the world of marketing, explore the world of real estate, or explore the world of other industry from the spectacle. That might be a better idea, I would say, right? Then you have to completely restrict yourself just as a domain expert, right? For that, I want you to start seeing things from this spectacle. Okay, understand the science from the industry what you start with, right? See, I started in real estate. I understand the world economics by real estate, but that happens everywhere, right? That happens in manufacturing. That happens. The same logic happens in services industry. The same thing happens in some futuristic EV manufacturing, whatever it is. But ultimately, the dynamics starts working. There is a product or service which is getting manufactured, right? Those manufactured products, whatever may be it, have to be taken to the consumer, right? And only when the consumer connects to the product, there is a consumerism which starts opening up other services and other allied services, right? So I want you guys to think in these three perspectives. Whichever product or service you do, right? You could be selling, as I said, a Rava brand, or you could be selling a chatbot, or you could be selling a service which, an academy sort of a service, right? Or a digital marketer. But please understand, just because you are having a product, it doesn't mean that consumerism is all understood. I would just want to go there and probably want to talk about how this starts approaching success, right? Okay, so we spoke about real estate, we spoke about what you're doing, and this is where you are starting, and this is the spectacle with which I think that all of us must view the world, right? Okay, what causes success? When we say causes success, I would say there are 2 3 things, right? We have to see people who are successful. Let's say that in e-commerce today, we can at least understand and accept that Amazon is a successful player, right? In Google is a search engine giant who is very, very successful. Great. On the other side, there is probably a manufacturing guy like, let me play a Maruti car who is very, very successful, right? So let's take these three scenario as, and one more FMCG. Let me take an FMCG, right? Let's understand and agree that there is a next door, okay, um, Reliance Trends or Reliance retail shops, who's just a distributor, right? He's not manufacturing, he's basically distributing. So distribution business or a retailing business. There is a manufacturing business called Maruti. There is a completely Google search, a digital business, and an Amazon, which is an e-commerce business. Let's take these four examples. Let's understand and decode these as success stories. Okay. As I say, I want you guys to start seeing whatever I'm saying from the spectacle of what you're wearing, right? You could be a digital marketer. That's what we spoke, right? So Amazon, what it does, Amazon basically is a intermediary. Just because he has a website, consumer is not going to come and buy from him, right? He need to list products. For listing products, he need sellers, right? Okay. From seller to honor for the buyer a delivery, right? There is a huge logistical aspect to it. How many of us literally understand this e-commerce? When we say e-commerce, we understand the e side of it, that is digital side of it, right? To activate or do the transaction called commerce, how much of physicality is involved? How much of warehouses an Amazon should own? How much of warehouses hubs he should own? How much of real estate pieces he should own as Amazon, right? How much of laborious people have to stand and accumulate from various sellers and distribute it? Are we even seeing so much of physicality, so much of operations, which goes behind to give a beautiful customer experience? What the customer sees as, hey, I click this button, I do a checkout, the product is, my wallet is getting debited or my credit card is getting debited by the amount, and Amazon says that it will be delivered tomorrow morning, and somebody comes to my doorstep and delivers it. Brilliant. But for even this buyer to have the satisfaction, just imagine tech is not the only thing, right? There is a human who is the buyer, there is a tech, and there is a physicality of it, which is the real estate piece of it. For the product to be delivered tomorrow, that product has to be stored or have to be put in a warehouse, which is just 24 hours away from me as a buyer, right? So just, is it possible for Amazon to do that particular single every transaction without a tech? No. Without real estate? No. Without a buyer? Absolutely not. I leave that aside, right? Let's bring Maruti into play, right? Maruti, as we know, we understand it to be so much physical, right? We walk into a showroom, we interact with the sales guy, buy a car, test drive. It's all physical, right? How much of tech is involved there? How much of real estate is involved there, right? The same buyer, instead of sitting at home, he goes to a showroom, right? What is that showroom? It's a real estate piece, right? From that physicality, there has to be a experience which is given in terms of color, to enhance the experience and give the real-time availability of logistics and the inventory at the warehouse. There has to be so much tech on automations and real-time information which is required for Maruti to even solve that piece of product to the consumer, right? Okay, let's take Google for other instance, right? As we all know, okay, hey, what Google is having real estate, right? All of us know we all consume Google search, right? We've been consuming Google search for at least a couple of decades now, right? A lot of information comes into play. Just imagine for all of us, we if we remove the experience of Google called nearby me, right? Which is location. Where am I standing? If I remove that, what information we will be actually seeing from Google, right? And for that to happen, right, how much of data it is collected and where it is stored? It is stored in the data center, right? Where is that data center will be? If I am in Coimbatore and entire India is consuming so much of information, there has to be a data. Will I be, if I start, reaching out a data center in US, how long will it be for me, or how much of layers of, server crossovers has to happen for me to consume the data, which means there is so many milliseconds which is lost, right? So what uh, Google, Facebook, or anybody would do is to have data centers very close to India, right? Or here. So what is that data center? How big is that going to be? It's as big as his business, right? Second, to make it near me, right, I need to find a location. There is reviews and ratings, right? Do we all know that Google gives you uh, personalized photos against a business and things like that, right? How do we know that it is, how is he gathering all those information? Again, physicality, right? So that aside, right? So again, we are seeing, to have a product or a service sold, we need three things. One is the consumer, second is the tech to enable it, and third is the real estate piece or the physicality piece of it. So if these three are not there, even Google cannot function, right? On the other side, we spoke about what a Reliance Digital or whatever it is, right? Reliance Digital does not have a product or service. It's similar to an intermediary, like an Amazon, right? So Amazon is more of an online player. Reliance Digital probably is an offline player. So just being offline, why do I need technology? Or am I doing something less or more than Amazon? No, I'm doing the same operations of Amazon, but I'm distributing not to the home, but I'm distributing to my retail shop. So retail shop is physical, which is real estate. Again, hubs and warehouses and inventory storages all are all real estate. Again, all of these are physicality, and there is a buyer in, right? So what I want you guys to think or take away from now is, real estate is a massive industry, brilliant. Real estate cannot, I mean, there is no industry which cannot exist without real estate, right? Two, real estate gives you the fastest and the costliest consumer good in the planet, right? And now, from wherever you are, being a digital marketer or an FMCG salesperson or whoever it is, now, whichever role you're playing, I want you guys to think all the businesses what you are seeing around you or probably working with has these three things, right? Which is the consumer, the real estate, and the tech, right? So for you to be self-made, being an employee, to from a simple startup who probably excelled in software engineering, have to understand consumer, have to understand the physicality or the real estate angle to it, and the tech which gives you the time or the efficiency of it. If these three put together, and then if you start writing your codes, you will exactly understand who your user is, right? If you're a salesperson, if you clearly understand from where is my inventory coming to service to my buyer, where is it this going to be in the shelf, and how is this consumer is consuming, and what sort of tech, then you are going to just not be a salesperson. You're all of a sudden going to be a CEO for your own role, right? Similar ways in terms of any other role, a digital marketing person. So now you go to a client and start talking about anything and everything. How do you speak? From the buyer perspective. You say that I will generate the best leads for you. How do you generate? As long as you know the buyer experience, you give the buyer psychology the best of these three things: consumerism, where is he and what is he, how fast can it be delivered to him, and at what experience can it be delivered, right? These are the three things which I want to leave with. So I've come to a conclusion, and this is what I would like to convey, is that no industry in India or in the planet can exist without real estate. When we see technology as the thing, right? real estate efficiency is the next thing which is going to rule and is the future, right? And all of these things, whatever is basically getting manufactured as a product or a service where we either work or we do business about, right? Both of it needs a buyer or a consumer. Today's consumer is going to have, enjoy only a 50-50 balance, which is how much of tech is there is brilliant, but I also need a 50% of physicality in everything, right? So that I give you a brilliant example, which is there is even a Google or even Amazon cannot ignore physicality, right? This is where it is. I would just leave it here and probably allow you guys to ask me certain questions and then probably conclude ultimately with the reality background and my background, if that is okay with all of you. Balaji?
All right. Thank you, Arun. And I'd like to have Charles take over at this point of time because he has quite a few points to address right now to begin with. And eventually, the fellow attendees who would like to interact as well, we'd like to have it a two-way, now rather three-way, including Charles, who has a few points to add up at this point of time.
Hi, everyone. Are you all able to hear me?
Perfect.
Yes, Charles.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining for this amazing webinar. And to sum up what Arun just said, understanding who you are, right? No matter wherever you are in whichever domain that you are in, but there is a need for real estate in every aspect of it. That's number one. Number two, what is the causation of success? What is causing that success to them? Understanding that and then implementing, adapting to it, and culminating all this tech, real estate, and the consumer. If this converges together, is where we see the real numbers that we already saw in the initial part of the slide. So to go forward, I would want the attendees, if you have questions, just shoot it on the chat. There you will see the chat. You can just shoot
I have
it.
a quick addition over here. I have allowed people to unmute themselves and talk as well. So attendees can feel free to unmute yourself, and you can talk freewheelingly. Please don't hesitate. It's just a click of an unmute.
Yeah.
So to name a few, we have Mr. Atul here, Mr. Darun, Ms. Divya, Ms. Jivita, Mr. Siddharth, Mr. Srihari, Ms. Vaishika, and Ms. Sujita. I don't think she has a microphone. Maybe you can drop a chat if you're not comfortable talking, so that we will respond to your questions.
To break the ice, now I want to start the first question asking Arun. Arun, my question to you would be, for example, if I'm an MBA graduate today, right? If I'm from industry that I'm nothing to do with real estate. I mean, I have no clue so far all these years, right? But I'm an MBA graduate. Like if I want to be into this realtor domain, like what are some things that I need to know, or what some things that I have to learn as a newbie into this?
See, in today's context, right? It's an amazing opportunity for any of the individual today, right? First, let's keep aside real estate, right? An MBA today first have, gone are those days where we do certain specializations and things like that, right? See, first semester is all about all subjects, and then subsequently in the second year, you take couple of papers, which is the finance and HR, and then when you actually sit in campus and then you say, hey, I'm a marketing person, I'm so excited about marketing, or I'm so excited about finance, right? I want to clearly give you this perspective, which is no matter whether you are an employee or you want to be a startup or you want to, wherever you are in today's context, you have to be a CEO, right? you cannot, I mean, you can still be a salesperson who's starting as a fresher. You have to be CEO for the 100 leads which you are managing, right? When I say CEO, what does it mean is that if you're a salesperson having 100 leads, I'm just giving you a HR, probably sitting and talking to 100 resumes and recruitment processes, whatever may be the funnel, right? You need to understand that you are a salesperson there. You need to understand the marketing side of it, which is what are you communicating, who's your audience, what is the 4 P's what we talk about, right? That is not, you're not going to lose out. And there is a finance angle to it, right? What sort of revenue this effort of mine have to deliver, or what am I trying to achieve out of this? If this 100 leads is going to have to deliver, as say, 10 lakh rupees as the sales, right? And then I need to understand what is the average ticket cost for sell and to whom to sell. This is the metrics with which you need to kickstart. So which means you have to be analytical. You have to understand the finance angle of it. You also need to understand the profit and loss story, right? The profit story or the profit and loss story of that piece, right? So which means, and you are basically going to bring about efficiency as an operational guy, right? For that piece of 100. If you are not, you are expected to deliver this, right? Why? Because in today's world, tech is at no cost, right? Physicality and opportunities are plenty, right? But the thing is that wherever we are, whatever spectacle we wear, whatever roles we might start with, that's immaterial, right? But you need to be your own CEO from the start, from the day one. And when I say CEO, it has to be in the mind. It should not be in the way you interact with your hierarchy, right? I'm sure that interpersonal skills are different, but I'm saying it's from your own mindset. First, you need to think like a CEO. So once this starts, right, this is what I see is not happening even in the startups. There are a lot of startups who comes and interacts with me and things like that. People have brilliant ideas of product. Okay, they have a brilliant product. They still do not know how to take it to market, which is consumer. Who the consumer is, what are the segments they have, right? And then can I go and sell it? Then the guy who codes and says that, hey, I can't go sell it, right? First piece of things is that you need to do everything within your boundary, then slowly, steadily scale it up, right? So today you do it at 100 lead level. Now you want to do 1,000 leads or 1,000 at 1,000 par, right? 10x level. Then what happens? You need a team. Now you do it at 10,000 level, right? You need probably a much divisions of things like, okay, hey, I need to focus the same finance as a department. I need to focus sales as a department. I need to focus same as a marketing. I need to focus. So what happens is wherever you start, everything is there. You have to be an expert of everything today. You need to bring about tech. You need to understand the real estate side of it, physicality of it. You need to understand the consumer, no matter who you are. You can be a coder also, right? To give the best user experience, or just, I famously say to my tech guys, right? You can write the best code, right? If there is no user to consume it, it's of no use. It's like, you print hundreds and 200s of visiting cards and having it in your pocket. What does it use? Right? What use does it make? Nothing, right? So basically, you cannot ignore these 3 things, as I said. And also, as an MBA or anybody, the MBA guys start thinking like a CEO. But when I say CEO, don't clearly think the visualization cannot be about wearing a blazer, having a brilliant office, having your cabin. No, right? I want you guys to think about your own core metrics, right? Am I thinking finance? Am I wearing finance angle today? Am I optimal in marketing angle? Am I wearing a sales angle? Am I wearing all of these things, right? That is a CEO, not, I mean, yeah. So if that happens, right, then opportunities are plenty. You can clear any interviews. You can scale at will, right? But as I said, real estate or physicality is something, please, in today's world, is undervaluing or underestimating. And that's all I want to leave it there with.
Thanks, Arun. So what I could sum up from this is, if I am a person who comes into this industry, that I have to have the mindset of the CEO, meaning owning the responsibility, understanding my context, understanding my metrics, understanding my communication. So I have to be more analytical, financial, and also looking at my story in its entirety. And that's when I'll be able to crack things. Not necessarily I'm only an MBA graduate, I can't do anything. I have to be well versed. Thank you for that. Anybody in the floor wanting to ask next question, you can either chat, you can put a message in the chat board, or you can ask a question directly to Arun. If you are
So please feel free to drop a chat message as well. We'll see to it that we have it anonymous if you are apprehensive of showing up your identity.
Charles, you had few questions asked before people were joining.
sure. I have one other question now I wanted to ask. My second question to you would be, now, considering the market trends, what's happening today in the world on a global scale, is realty or real estate a stable career choice for me?
Absolutely. Okay. See, as I said, stability is two-way, right? It comes like from where you are standing, right? It's not about okay, that floor is good. If I go stand there, it will be great. No, wherever you're standing, as long as it's stable, right? It's all fine, right? So stability is a perspective, I would say. First point. Second, having said that, right? Real estate, how stable or secure is that? If Amazon can give you stability, real estate can give you a 10x stability. Why? Because if Amazon is basically transacting products, okay, an average ticket size of sales in Amazon will not go past, say, 30,000 rupees or 40,000 rupees. I'm talking about an average. You can buy probably a simple safety pin to a large fridge, right? Fridge or a TV or whatever it is. But between this, if you take an average, the average ticket size will not go past 35,000-50,000 rupees, right? If that is a $1 billion company and who could give you a better state, real estate, a starter, right, a developer who builds 10 houses, right, is a millionaire, and average transaction in my industry is 50 lakhs, not 50,000 rupees, right? If Amazon has a marketing budget of X, I'm 10x in this industry, right? If Amazon can give you X salary, this can give you 10x. But be mindful that if you have to be CEO to achieve that, right? When I say CEO, it's not the designation I mean. You need to be a 360-degree person, right? From wherever you are, right? Then I'm definitely sure the value of sales and the consumer, which you enable, right, from whichever role you are, right, that is going to give you a 10x revenue or 10x. So if money is what you think stability is, then there's umpteen opportunities. If you think career and knowledge is thing, we have 10x. As I said, you have engineering, you have marketing, you have every science, what retailing, right? What does builder do? Okay, just builder manufactures and distributes it to various brokers, right? And broker sells it. Is that not retailing? Right? A Samsung distributes and sells it to everybody, and you go buy it from Supreme Mobile or a Purvika Mobile or a Reliance Digital. If that is distribution and if that is retailing, is that not happening in real estate? Right? But the point is that everything what we know, we have failed to apply or see it to real estate, or we have failed to see it in retailing, right? Even technology like Google, Amazon, everybody are focusing today on physicality. If they are not focusing on real estate piece of it, right? If you actually understand from Amazon, it's more a real estate player than a tech player, right? If you understand, say, retail business like Reliance Digital, it's more a real estate business than. So actually, there will be a clear-cut department which will be getting more salary, which is actually managing real estate, right? Than a purchase department or a sales guy who's actually, operating at a lower point. So basically, the point is that if you understand real estate, you're going to go to a much larger. You might start much higher, right? That's all my point is.
Thanks, Arun. I like the way how you compared with the ASP. The average selling price of an Amazon is maximum 30,000, whereas here it's almost like 20, 30 times more, right? Not even 20, more than that, right? So looking at that as a career choice, or in terms of finance or commercial, or in terms of the exploration, this is huge possibility. Now, in that line, I want to ask one last question. Now, as for example, as attendees who are there, who are new, or prospective people who wanted to explore, like what could you or your platform could offer these attendees or these newbies who are going to come into this platform, this industry?
For this, I just want to give you as to why did I start this, right? The thing is that whatever problem I'm trying to address, right, the perspectives all of us have, this was the cause and the solution, or the cause for what reality was started with, right? We said, hey, if real estate cannot be understood in this perspective holistically, people won't take it up. And if they take it up, they have to do all of these things, right? These are two things. One is that it's just not about understanding. They need to have the opportunity to do that, right? So how do we create that opportunity is where we started this platform, right? So now reality is basically is a platform where any real estate piece could be taken to cloud and could be distributed to do various services. Say, let's say example, a use case, I would say, a builder could take his inventory to the cloud, he could catalog it on the cloud, right? And then give access to a broker to do broking, to give access to a digital marketer to do probably digital marketing, to give access to a bank for lending, right? To give access to, say, probably a supplier or some construction person to do that, and to give access to a buyer to buy it. So basically, real estate was not digital, right? We wanted to bring tech side of it to it. Real estate was always left behind, right? There was nobody in the world, including, I don't blame today's audience or today's perspective, even Amazons of the world and Googles of the world have ignored real estate. How many of us are, I mean, today's Salesforce, is it even talking real estate and talking to real estate or as a domain? No. But if we solve this industry, the fintech will grow 10x. Your e-commerce or retailing will grow 10x from wherever they are, right? Whichever $1 billion or $1 million. But unfortunately, they've all ignored, right? The email gyms of the world, SaaS tools of the world, the CRMs of the world. Nobody have understood things from this industry, right? And because this industry is one unique thing also I wanted to say is that the product do not move to the consumer in this industry, unlike other industry, right? In all other industry, what happens? The product comes to the buyer, right? The buyer takes the product home, right? Here, the buyer moves to the home, right? So that is the switch which has to be accommodated. So we said, okay, hey, when nobody is doing in the world, let's create a fundamental platform where all these players could basically do, right? Could basically interact with the homes and could do what they're doing best. A digital marketer could doing digital marketing. Sales guy could do sales. Finance guy should enable finance and whatnot. So that's the objective of it. So there is umpteen opportunities to begin with for like MBAs and freshers. Marketing and sales is the simplest thing for you today to become a self-made entrepreneur, because you don't have a product. you need not worry about the product. What you can deliver is your service, right? You as an individual who could offer some service so that you could monetize that. That is what, as a today's entrepreneurship, easy entrepreneurship could do without investments, right? So to give the best experience, what you need one side, you need to have supply, which is inventory from various brands. On the other side, you need a buyer facing website, right? So we give you a website, instant website, and with that website, you will be able to generate leads. So which means that website, which is having all the brands, right? Sitting, you could sit and say probably in Chennai, Charles, you could get inventory from DLF of Delhi, Purvankara of Bangalore, Loda brand of Bombay, and instantly launch a website. What will it look? Just imagine. It will look a 99 acre, right? So for you to launch a 99 acre and be that aggregator with that 19 acre, can you just generate leads? That's your choice. Can you just not leads? I will go on to put ads and make money. That's your choice, right? No, I will not put ads. I will not put lead. I will not. I don't want to make monetize at lead level. I want to do the real estate transaction itself. I'm good at it and things like that. Then it's your choice. But the point is, we've enabled that opportunity with a click of a button, and there is an exchange perspectives. You could basically enter contract with any of your brands across India and launch your own buyer facing website, and you be that aggregator or the new age digital real estate person, right? So that's the opportunity which we are looking at with, and there are plenty of other startups, like somebody who's working in fintech is working with us, somebody who's working in VR. These are lab opportunities which we have. There are a lot of R&D work which is happening on our core products, where we expose our APIs and they take it up and things like that. That is much more at a different level. So there, what we give is, for them, we give easy access of real estate, right? So we are going to build a huge brands here. Most of the brands are going to be on a platform. So consumption will not be an issue for those startups. So that is the second opportunity which we give. And third opportunity is, there are affiliates. If this product is brilliant, they could take it up and sell our product. Either they could be their own brand, or they could partner with us, or they could be from any other industry wanting to solve something in real estate. These are three things which is absolutely possible. And this is the objective with which we started. And I'm happy that we are ready now and we are going full-fledged and growing well.
Thanks, Arun. So, as to sum up, that we are nearing to the closing, I think that what you are communicating to us is that you are giving us a platform that, in just a click of a button, you can become an aggregator to showcase, just like a 99 acres, to sell or to be a product a marketer or an affiliate, or to be partnering with you. So this is, I think, an exciting opportunity that for newcomers or somebody who's thinking of entering into real estate, what to do, what not. So thank you, Arun, for this amazing time. I'm just going to give it to Balaji to sum up and close the session. But before that, I would want to request, if you are new to this real estate, I would also ask you kindly to check out Arun's Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter pages, where he constantly updates on the daily trends and markets and all the other activities that are happening in the real estate, and also about the product that they are building, a cutting edge platform called reality.io. More of this updates and everything you will get in information in these socials. So over to Balaji to take it up from there and close the session.
Thank you. Firstly, thanks to you, Charles. Thanks for all the logistical support as well. In convention of this webinar, we have had 9 people who have joined in, and people have been listening to us, and we'd like to open up opportunities for the next 3 minutes to see if you have any questions to ask. Please feel free to unmute at this point.
Even it could be a feedback, simple feedback that would help for us. We are here to
It would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a straightforward, honest one. That'll help us present better in the next one probably as well. It would be great if you can unmute yourself and talk, or maybe if you're apprehensive, it would be great you can send us a chat message, please.
Okay.
One more attempt. Please feel free. I think they're clear, and sincerest thanks to everyone for joining this session. Yes, Saturday being a break after a long week, for you all to take some time and join. We are sincerely grateful to you for doing the same. We shall be reached out via Instagram, LinkedIn. Arun CR can respond almost within 4 to 6 hours of any messages that comes to him. I've seen him respond within that time frame.